Okay, this is the second day of riding. You can see we had a very scenic route with these trees on the side. Throughout the entire ride, it was just super beautiful, massive trees growing on the sides. It's really cool. We rode on the side of this highway for the most of the route. As you can see, there's cars passing us, but it wasn't too bad because it wasn't a constant ride. Overall, it's a pretty beautiful ride. Thankfully, the rain stayed off for most of the day, so we only got sprinkled on here or there. Here we're kind of riding along the beach. You can't really see it, but it's just off to the right. There's a cool beach you can see as we could see as we were riding by. Then every once in a while, we come across these towns and just ride through. Be cool little houses. Through this whole day, we were kind of along the ocean or near it. Couldn't see it the whole time, but for most of the time, we were pretty close, up and down hills. I mean, look at this view. This is beautiful. You can see this quite a few times. There's this cool little bridge going over. I'm not exactly sure what it's for, but it looked cool, so recorded that section. Here's a cool tunnel we went through. It's actually a very long tunnel, but there was a little button you press right before you go in. And then there's lights flashing above that say bikers are going through after you hit that button. That was just a cool little warning thing they have to support the bikers and protect them so cars can know when to slow down. That's just a cool little feature. Lots of hills, lots of riding. This was a pretty long day of riding. I was pretty tired at the end of the day. So yeah, so far in Oregon, we've had some pretty awesome views. It's been a pretty cool place to ride through. The only thing is that it's wet and rainy, but otherwise, I've really enjoyed riding through here, seeing all the amazing views and everything. It's just been a pretty cool ride through and through. Okay, here we are after the end of our second day of biking. We got our tent set up already. We somehow managed to avoid the rain for the most part. We only had a little bit of rain today, but we did have a pretty fierce headwind at a couple points during our ride. We did, I think, 68 miles with almost 4,000 feet of elevation gain. So it was not a super long distance for what we're hoping to do, but it was a lot of elevation, a lot of wind, which made it pretty hard. But overall, it's pretty good day. I think we're about to have dinner, so I think we'll be good. Okay, here we go on the third day of riding in the rain. Well, hello everyone. We just camped the night in Bay City. We had a relatively calm night, no problems, slept pretty well. But when we woke up this morning, there was supposed to be a 2-hour break from the rain, but from what we're learning of Oregon, the weather is unpredictable. So during those 2 hours where it wasn't supposed to rain, it rained, and we were hoping to take down our tent and pack everything up at that time, but we ended up having to do all that in the rain, trying to avoid getting our stuff wet, which was pretty much unavoidable. So a lot of our stuff was wet. We had a short section of windy riding along the coast, and then we came off the main road onto this back road here, with parts of it were gravel, so it was a little bit slower riding, but it was cool riding because we were like in the middle of nowhere in this forest. It looked really cool. Had to test out our new little bit wider tires than we're used to. Thankfully everything held up to this gravel road here. On the right here, you can see all the trees are cut down. I think this is a big logging area, so that whole side was logged at one point, and all that's left is just a bunch of tree stumps. You can see there's water on the camera. That's because it is raining and drizzling pretty much all day long. Yeah, we were wet all day. Thankfully, it wasn't too cold, and we were able to keep warm by going up these hills and everything. But it was not as pleasant as we would have hoped, just because it was wet and cold. It was also a little windy, and we were often going into the wind, which made it even harder. So we were going slow, but we pushed through and kept going even when things got hard, because wind and gravel and hills, and we made it. We haven't really seen many other cyclists so far. We saw two other guys yesterday. Talked to them a little bit, which they're doing the same route as us, but they're going much slower, and they're like, oh, it's going to be raining tomorrow. Let's stay in a hotel. So we're probably quite a bit ahead of them by now. Here we came off the gravel road, but we came onto more of a main road, and we lost the protection of the forest. Here you can see we're right along the ocean, so we have a pretty strong headwind, which is slowing our progress down to a crawl. It's just brutal going into this, and then more hills, lots of hard riding. This was not an easy day with all the wind and the rain. Some point during the morning, we stopped at a coffee shop to warm up a little bit and charge our phones and stuff like that, which is a nice break from the cold rain. And then here we are, we're going up this massive hill. I don't know exactly how long it was, but it just kept going and going and going. But it was actually a really cool ride because there's forest on either side, and it was like really foggy. So it was really cool. And then like once we got almost to the top of it, we could look out over the ocean and see like big rocks coming out of the water and massive waves rolling in. It was super cool. Here's Layla coming up to the top there. And then we came back down the mountain, and you can see there's like some like sand dunes off to the either side of us as we're riding, which was kind of cool because we were just like in a rainforest almost, and then it feels like a desert for a second, even though it's still raining on us. Tonight we're going to be staying at a guy named Jerry's house. We found him on Warm Showers. He's going to let us camp in his yard and use his bathroom and stuff. It'll be a nice break. I think maybe even get to use his washer and dryer, kind of dry out some of our clothes. You don't really appreciate the value of a dryer until you've been riding for a couple days in the rain and all your clothes are soaked. That'll be a very welcome blessing tonight. So we're quite thankful for Jerry letting us do this. And then here we are, we're riding over a bridge over this river. We crossed this actually a couple times on our way up this one last hill before the end of the day.